This is Rite, written by Trin, SSJTrinity. Part 19 of Surrogate, the Director's Cut. The rating is mature. No archive warnings apply. The fandom is Malevolent, the podcast.
Additional tags. Rated M for off-screen monster sex and Ravel's Bolero. No, really, it's Bolero. It's deserved. Also rated A for, get me out of this! Fertility Rite. It's all to honor Chubby. Who wouldn't want her in their corner? 2 drunk gods and 1 Arthur who'd rather be anywhere else. No one is molested, unless you count aggressive attempts at teddy bearing. Voices by Ace, Lith, Scottie, CharlieGoLightly and Isi as the Gossipers, LynnLarsh as John, Jasper as Arthur, Flamia as Hastur, Vmprsm as the Narrator and Faroe, Alexis as Dis, SSJTrinity, Kraiva, and Somniate as the work introduction, editing by Flamia, directed by Vmprsm, transcript by Saffron, created and posted with permission from the authors of Surrogate, the Director's Cut.
Spring. What better time to honor Shub Nicara, the Great Mother? Arthur's not thrilled with being tasked to start the festivities off with music. He's even less thrilled that Hastur's efforts to call John to himself have exponentially increased. Magic-drunk gods and difficult confessions lead to an impossible choice, one Arthur fears he is not strong enough to make.
The spring rite is next week.
The Whispers are excited.
Spring rite? Oh, at last. I was sick of traveling for it.
The gossip is potent.
You can't wear that. Everybody's already seen it.
This is the scent I'm planning.
Oh, fuck yeah, that'll work.
Do you think you'll provide mead?
Mead, scents, clothing. It all adds up, but Arthur's not sure to what. He doesn't think he wants to know what.
I don't fully remember. It's something... I know it's important. I remember good feelings. I remember the certainty of blessings from Shubnigaroth after. Fertility and all of that.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Fertility?
I'm sorry, Arthur. I just don't remember. You could ask someone.
Arthur considers the way people have been speaking, the way John has described their behavior. Leering comes up an awful lot of late, and shudders.
I'm not sure I have the courage. Let's just keep our heads down. Stay out of the way. Maybe it'll pass us by like a storm.
Hastur doesn't give that option. He's coming by daily now, checking on music, insisting on listening to every note, which he usually trusts to Arthur's discretion. Arthur hadn't realized he was being trusted until that trust disappeared.
No, that still isn't right.
Hastur rests one heavy tentacle on Arthur's left shoulder. Arthur tries to shrug it away to no effect. John reaches up, grips it with his left hand, and shoves. And that, Arthur is certain, is the whole reason Hastur keeps doing it.
Perhaps I should find you an example.
As though that didn't happen. Arthur can't feel it, but Hastur's tendril must have touched his left hand because John reacts. Suddenly, and with no warning, Arthur's left arm yanks right across his chest, like trying to get away from a fire.
John?
I'm fine. I know.
Again, as though that didn't happen.
Here is the piece I wanted to base the music for that night on.
He waves his tentacles, and music just starts playing in the air. Arthur knows it. His jaw drops.
Are you serious?
The touch is on his left arm this time, and Arthur feels it and leans away.
Of course, Arthur. I also expect you to do it better. This is a very restricted version of what I want, after all.
Seducing John. That's what he's doing. Or maybe just trying to be near him? Arthur shifts on the bench so he can face Hastur directly.
It's inappropriate.
What? Inappropriate? What, do they slaughter goats in the middle of it or something?
No, John, not at all. Perhaps Arthur can explain it to you? I would be happy to, naturally. But I know you two prefer to find things out for yourselves.
Pretentious prick.
You'd rather I explain? I thought we weren't talking over Arthur's head anymore.
John doesn't even yell, but Arthur feels it. John's anger hurts.
You just have to push, don't you? You have to keep pushing and keep pushing and...
John, stop.
Arthur rubs his face.
Hastur, just go. I'll answer him.
He can feel Hastur lean in.
Are you sure?
His left hand jumps to grip, well, some part of Hastur that came too close. Arthur doesn't know what. But it lingers. Arthur knows why.
I'm sure.
Good. I will have important guests. I expect your best work yet.
Hastur leaves them to it.
What the fuck, Arthur?
John is as he always is these days when Hastur physically leaves them. Arthur knows John is in pain. He also thinks he knows what Hastur wants from this song, from this mysterious spring rite, from next week's performance, and he has never felt more awkward in his life.
Fuck.
I am still not getting this.
It's hard to explain. It's the way the piece works, I suppose. Also, maybe because it's French.
French?
They're a bit licentious over there, compared to the States.
They are?
The point is, the piece is not ostensibly about sex, except that it is, and everybody knows when they hear it.
I don't know when I hear it.
Yes, well, look, it works, alright? The consistent marching rhythm with those snare drums, the repeated theme, growing, surging, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger until it ends in fireworks. It works. And I have no idea how to match it, and certainly not how to top it.
Arthur doesn't mention the newspaper articles, the cries for censure, the uproar in the musical world. This had made waves a few years ago. It failed to make waves with John.
Maybe it's better live?
Arthur tries again. It isn't working. He knows it's not.
No.
Hastur is gratingly patient as Arthur struggles through.
That is less, not more.
I don't know how to do what you're asking.
Arthur snaps in a rare moment of defiance.
Why don't you go kidnap Ravel, if you're so desperate for his work?
Because I don't want his work. I want yours. Now, try again.
Arthur rubs his face. He keeps trying. He keeps producing repetitive and dull.
I don't know how to help you.
John's subdued again in Hastur's absence.
Ugh. Need a working libido to figure this out.
What?
Nothing.
He keeps trying. Arthur thanks all that is good and holy that Faroe will not be here for whatever happens in a few days. She's thrilled about her special trip. Camping with Dis is such a grown-up thing to do in the Dreamlands under the stars.
Alone?
Naturally not. There will be a contingent out of sight to ensure nothing happens.
Because, of course, there would be. Arthur dislikes many things that go on in this place, but the focus on Faroe's safety is not one of them.
I'm going to gather herbs.
She shows off her new gear. From what John describes, there is an inordinate amount of buckles.
This sounds like you're going to have a lot of fun.
We're going to catch fish, and we're going to roast something.
Something?
Whatever we can catch.
Faroe mimics Dis's cadence.
It's girls' prerogative.
Arthur grins.
Prerogative. And, well, it should be. Leave all us nasty guys behind, eh?
She beams.
That's what Dis said.
She's very cute in her gear. She even has a little knife with a wooden blade. I don't recall her working with weapons like that yet.
You have a knife?
It's my early birthday present.
She's holding it out for inspection. Just to the left. There.
A 4-year-old with a knife. Fuck, life was different in the Dreamlands.
John, what does it look like?
He holds it carefully.
A rich, dark wood. Its burl is beautiful, whirling, a clearly intentional pattern. I see power all through it. It will never cut her, but anything she needs to cut should part like butter.
It's very sharp, darling. Be very careful with it, or you could hurt someone.
And he hands it back like offering a sword to a knight.
She is grim as she takes it and sheaths it, buckling the handle down. But now her smile is bright, Arthur.
This says to bring you a cabbage.
A what?
You'll see.
Dis approaches from the left.
The captain is similarly kitted out. She must be coming from the stables because she's leading Vmprsm.
And is Nibbles prepared?
Arthur takes all this very seriously.
Yes, I get to ride her when we are out in the wilds.
Out in the wilds is clearly a phrase she's heard and has no concept of, and she repeats it with precise and meaningless enunciation. Arthur smiles. He gives her a quick hug, then finally stands.
Come, my daughter.
Hastur will, of course, get the final goodbye and any final words and anything of real importance. But Arthur got to see her off, and that matters. He slams the lid shut so hard it makes the piano ring, then gets up to pace.
I can't do this.
Sure you can. Maybe tomorrow.
I did
Arthur waves his hands.
commercials for Burma Shave. For crying out loud, I can't make sex music.
John really is trying to help, even though he's been distracted, even though Arthur still feels like he's losing him, inch by inch.
Maybe you're trying to make it too human?
What does that even mean? Sex is sex.
Not really.
Arthur paces, then he stops.
Wait. Maybe you're right.
How so?
Too human. That's the problem. The rhythm is too human. I remember the sounds.
He sits back down.
The pace is wrong, but I think I know what to do. John
stares at Arthur's hands on the keys. He can tell by the tension in them how ready Arthur is to play or compose, and the hands look good, relaxed and strong.
Sound? Pace? What?
Let's try this.
And Arthur begins. It's a simple bass, a merciless pulse that John immediately finds damn near mesmerizing and familiar. Arthur keeps it low, repeated octaves like a slow beating heart, but what he does with his right hand makes John forget bolero even exists. It's all offbeat, like the jazz, but not sparkling. It reminds John of the long-forgotten sense of his fingers in the flesh of some pitiable thing, parting veins like opening noodles, blood warm and then sticky in the aftermath of intimate death. Arthur takes his right hand up the register, transitioning to a new key, and John suddenly recalls wrestling with his half-brother Cthulhu back in the eternity of forever. When there was no pecking order, when there was no law, only the joy of twisting, tangling, torsioning strength, and the endless fight for power. Arthur is breathing hard. This seems to be taking a lot of concentration, and John cannot remember how to feel through the mark to see just what the hell is going on in there. But Arthur transitions again, another key change, and the pulse has picked up speed. Then he begins a new rhythm in his right hand, a counterpoint beat, like the high notes have their own heart, their own ichor to circulate, and John has enough awareness to realize Arthur was right about the difference a concert grand piano makes to raw sound. Arthur's teeth are bared. Then Arthur doesn't transition keys again. He doesn't change rhythm. He just makes it more. Louder, heavier, stronger, until he's striking the keys, putting the whole of his core and upper body strength into the assault, until John feels like either the piano strings are going to snap or he is. It peaks, huge, crazy, a breathlessly rich conclusion, and then it doesn't just stop. Arthur flutters the rhythms, quieting them, bringing them down in volume and up in register until the whole piece comes to rest in soft, sparkling tones, still a counterpoint rhythm, but slowing as if to sleep. John has forgotten words exist.
Ha!
Arthur's wearing a smile so huge that his eyes crinkle. It takes John a moment.
I got it. What do you think?
It takes John another moment.
How did you do that?
His hearts.
Arthur looks happy, and it's an expression John would have given anything to see, and right now is so overwhelmed he doesn't know how to handle.
I remembered his hearts.
His...
When he marked me, I heard them, felt them. They're not in sync, you know.
Sure.
He knew that, but it never seemed this interesting before. It takes John another moment.
Do you have any idea what you did?
I gave him what he wanted, I'm pretty sure.
John is pretty sure Arthur hacked eldritch biology is what he did, but he doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, that'll work.
It's better, because I'm too damn tired to do it again.
Arthur is pleased and exhausted. He sweated a lot, which probably means he will even more on the night of the performance. So a sound like that, plus his own scent, plus whatever magic is making the rounds on the night in question, John is thinking practically.
We're going to need an escape route.
Sure, John.
Arthur is all too happy to shower and go to bed. He hums his new, weird melody until he's finally in bed. John stares at the inside of Arthur's eyelids and worries whether Arthur maybe did too good a job. The next day, Hastur comes in during practice and, like John, he falls silent as Arthur plays. Arthur barely notices he's there. It's enticing, this piece, though it's not a rhythm he's known before. It's grown on him. He doesn't just play it. He breathes it, feels it. His own heart cannot follow this beat, but he's fairly sure that if it could, it would. He's proud of this crazy piece, and yes, he thinks it might be better than Ravel's.
John.
Arthur jumps.
Hastur.
Hastur sounds breathy, a little, voice rough.
Well, Arthur, it seems you did not disappoint.
This will be dangerous for him tonight.
Before hearing this, I would have disagreed. But you have a point.
What?
I had not planned on his participation beyond the music.
When they hear this, they won't give him a choice.
What? Look, what is happening tonight, anyway? Did you seriously ask me to write incidental music for an orgy?
If you wish to phrase it that way, it is an offering to the Mother Goddess. You remember, John, surely. We celebrate every year an ode to spring, a chance at new life.
I remember.
Arthur feels ill.
I really don't want to be part of this.
You will not. Your life would be in danger. And while I personally wouldn't mind at all seeing you fucked to death, we would all suffer, including Faroe. So, no. You will be safe.
Now he feels really sick.
Great.
He tastes bile.
You would want that, you piece of shit.
John, I will do anything in my power to remove you from him. The only reason it has not happened is I have not yet found a way.
Give it up. I'm never joining you.
You will. You need it even more than I.
Arthur is so not in the mood for this repeated, endless, circular argument.
Stop. Both of you. Just stop. I don't want to hear it right now. Hastur, I'll play your bloody piece, and then I'm going away, and no one is going to bother us tonight. Alright?
We are for once in agreement. I will personally ensure you are escorted to safety.
You'd better.
I'd like to know what you would do, should I not?
You already know. I told you. I will take one of the deals offered to me.
John.
Arthur grips his head.
Stop.
He doesn't know why John's anger hurts, but it does. Every damn time, it hurts.
By all means, John. Don't calm down on my account.
And he leaves. And John seethes. And Arthur's head aches, and he wonders if tonight he should find a way to go armed. He doesn't go armed. There'd be no point, and he has no weapons anyway. The evening comes. John keeps description minimal. Arthur is glad because the rest of his senses are going nuts. The scents are indescribable. Sweet, sour, musky, floral. Natural pheromones? Weird perfume? He doesn't know. The sound of thick and swishing fabric everywhere is absurd, and he tries to amuse himself by picturing giant squid people in fairy tale ball gowns.
Awful lot of clothing for an orgy, isn't it?
Just more for them to unwrap, is all.
It appeals to you, doesn't it?
Shut up.
It's alright, John. this is your scene. I get it.
Arthur, it isn't.
And now, my honored guests,
Hastur's voice makes the piano strings vibrate.
we join to celebrate renewal, regrowth, the magnificence of beautiful and undefeatable life.
And Arthur thinks, for just a moment, that even this absurd proclamation doesn't hurt his head as much as John's anger.
My chord composer. We are ready. Guide us into the path of creation. Guide us into her shadow, that we may partake of her essence and give her praise.
You can do this, Arthur.
Might as well get it over with, he thinks, and begins to play. He plays with focus, with the memory of Hastur's hearts through all his being, and loses himself in their song. Why it's so moving, he doesn't know. Maybe gods do it differently. Maybe Hastur's vascular systems pump some divine beat, and not just whatever he has instead of blood. It doesn't matter. Arthur plays, and Arthur breathes, and he blocks out all the world. He's panting when it's done, and is surprised to find there is silence. He's drained, sweaty. This was exhausting, even with the better shape he's in. At least nobody's doing anything, judging by the sound, though why they're all so quiet.
They're looking at you.
Arthur tenses. Then Hastur suddenly grabs him, just plucks him off the bench like a flower from the grass. There is the ear-popping shock of a portal opening, and he is thrown through. He lands hard. The portal closes.
Arthur, we're in your room. We're safe. He actually did it. You're safe.
Oh, thank fuck.
Arthur's on his hands and knees, hanging his head. Then the air begins to tremor, a weirdly metallic thrumming, and Arthur absolutely does not want to know more. He wants to sleep. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Just sleeping right through this, sliding right past whatever freakish coupling they're all engaged in. But he can't. There's too much something in the air. It isn't noise. It isn't any sense he understands, but it wires the room and leaves his every breath heated, and John is absolutely not being a damn bit of help. John is acting drugged. He's completely silent unless spoken to, and then only responds with nonsense. It is frightening that John is so affected, even though they're in a different part of the palace. Arthur is very glad Hastur is not here to take advantage of it.
How much longer can they keep this up?
Days? Maybe. I don't know. Could be fun for days.
John is positively blotto.
Fuck, I hope not.
Why? Hey, we could go peek.
No, thank you.
But I bet it's something in there.
I'll bet it is, my friend. But I want to sleep.
That's okay. It's nice here, with you, in the dark.
It isn't dark. Arthur's face is in the pillow.
Sure.
The tensing metal air thrums.
John, should I leave? Go outside or something? Leave the palace, maybe?
I wouldn't. Think something would catch you. Might not go so good. I would have to bite them.
You can't bite them. My mouth is my own.
Oh. I could tell you to bite them.
No, that's all right.
Hey, you really don't know what you did. Do you? Know what you did do?
I broke some music.
Even to himself, he sounds absurd.
No, you wrote fucking amazing music.
And Arthur can't help himself.
Fucking amazing. Fucking music?
There's a pause. The tension judders back, and Arthur rolls over so John isn't stuck staring at a pillowcase any longer.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Arthur isn't.
The lights came on. You did so good. Such a good music. That's all. Maybe if there's a blessing, you'll get some.
Sure, so this is how you people repopulate, or something?
No, we don't need anything like that. Most of us don't even need a partner. We just do it. Choom!
Choom?
Yeah. Participation is just for fun. But assigning meaning to things gives them meaning.
That's profound, John.
It's impossible to stay so grim with John like this.
Will that actually be a blessing?
Think so? Maybe? They're having fun.
Yes, I know they're having fun.
Wish I could have fun.
Mm.
You could too.
No, I don't want any. Thank you.
Aww, you don't like fun, Arthur?
I really don't deserve fun, my friend.
No, Arthur, no. You deserve it. You should have it. Fun is good, Arthur.
John.
Fun is good.
He's so sincere. Arthur smiles weakly.
After this whole affair, John, to be perfectly honest, I'd rather never even think about anything like this ever again for the rest of my...
A portal opens. Arthur sits up, tense.
Hi.
Peace, both of you.
It's Hastur, and he sounds absolutely fucking drunk. Slurring, warm. There is something like his growl rumbling under his words, only it's far from an angry sound. The sounds behind him aren't angry either, but Arthur is very glad when the portal closes and they are cut off.
Hi. Wait. Go away. You aren't invited.
John growls, or tries. Hastur flops beside the bed like a pile of laundry dumped on the floor. The whole bed jumps as if caught in a quake.
Is he fucking purring?
Arthur doesn't get an answer. Is Hastur here to do something to him? Faroe's unanswered question about catamite comes back to mind, and Arthur feels a distinct urge to run for the window and leap out of it.
What are you doing here?
Hastur leans half of himself on the bed. The bed groans and damn near bends in half under his bulk. Arthur slides toward him a few inches, just gravity and satin sheets working against him, and he panics.
Easy.
John, still not sober, but definitely scared closer to it.
Just slide back a little, maybe. Don't rush.
Arthur is far beyond not rushing. He scrambles backwards. He gains a whole 3 inches before Hastur moves. Just grabs him, just curls a tentacle around his waist, and plucks him in the air without warning. Arthur kicks at nothing.
No! Let me go!
Calm down.
Hastur pulls Arthur down into the mass of his arms, like he does Faroe. This is terrifying. They're heavy, hot. They aren't doing anything, but he can't push them off him or fight his way free. He feels like he's been wrapped in heavy silk and dropped into deep water, and he can't breathe. Tears sting his eyes.
Hey. Hey!
Arthur's left hand can't get any space to move, but it seems to be poking.
Hey! You're making Arthur cry!
Hastur seems to stir.
Why are you so afraid?
The absolute craziness of that sentence snaps Arthur out of it.
You're joking!
I am not.
You hate me.
Arthur trembles with effort to push Hastur's unmoving arms off him.
You've broken my leg. You've hurt me so many times. How can you even ask that?
Hastur takes this seriously.
I am not breaking your legs now.
He's magic drunk.
This isn't remotely funny.
Please. I hate confined spaces. Please, let me out.
Faroe likes this.
As if being completely reasonable.
I'm not Faroe. Oh, gods, let me out.
What nonsense.
But his arms slither apart, opening, dropping Arthur to the floor. He tries to scramble away. Hastur picks him up again.
Stop!
Hey! Hey!
John smacks the tentacle with his left hand.
What?
Hastur settles against Arthur's bed again, which creaks alarmingly, springs snapping, then tucks Arthur against his chest like a teddy bear with an arm around his waist. It's better than being engulfed. It's still bad.
Hastur, please.
At least he's not being swayed. There is that. At least there is that.
John, what do I do?
I don't know. I don't know. Hey, what are you doing?
Presents.
There is an ominous crack in the bed somewhere, as of wood breaking.
It didn't work.
What didn't work?
It takes Hastur a moment.
I hate you very much. You know?
Those words should come with a crushing squeeze, with the breaking of bones and rending of flesh, but they do not. Arthur stays pressed against his yellow cloak, breathing fast.
No?
You took him away from me. You know?
Hastur raises one of his humanoid hands to brush Arthur's hair back from his face. Arthur tries to lean away. The tentacle around his waist is like steel.
Don't hurt me.
He won't dare.
Arthur's left arm whacks Hastur's repeatedly.
He won't come back to me, you know? And you don't even break right. They're mine when they break, you know? Any human I break and show myself to is mine. I break them, and when they love me, they're all mine. Pop, like eating a ripe cherry. But you didn't even do that, right?
Arthur is stunned. Cain said something like that, hadn't he? No, he'd said that everyone else who took John from that book died, popped like a ripe cherry. It's too weird. It can't be a coincidence. But is it?
I don't know why that is.
I do.
Hastur pokes Arthur's chest right where he'd marked him. That ripples of something from that spot flash through Arthur's whole being, and he briefly whites out.
A stubborn piece of shit.
Arthur wipes his eyes. He's sweating.
Hey, mine!
John hits him again.
Oh, Arthur. Arthur Lester. It hurts. It always hurts. It didn't work tonight. I am supposed to feel better. I do not feel better. It did not work.
Oh, it hurts. It is weirdly human that Hastur threw himself into physical intimacy in an attempt to get away from non-physical pain.
John hurts too.
What? No.
John waves his left hand.
Well, yes, but not so bad. I have life support, remember? I have you.
Are you crying?
Arthur rubs his face.
Really?
Take that.
John says for some reason. Hastur is petting his head again. Sad drunk, Arthur thinks, and that helps. He knows how to handle sad drunks. Tentative, he pats the arm around his waist and somehow gets the words out.
It's going to be okay.
It is?
He won't come back to me. And that is because of you.
Could this be more pathetic?
It's because of him too. And because of you. We've all made choices. We're all in this. We dug pit together.
It's my fault. Don't you dare blame him.
He keeps choosing you.
Hastur ignores John completely.
I know. I don't deserve it.
Arthur! Hey, Arthur.
Why does he do that?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know why he keeps choosing me.
Arthur. Don't say that, Arthur. Arthur?
Yes, John?
Arthur feels like his heart weighs 1,000 pounds.
Can you sing me a song?
Yes, a song.
I want a funny song.
I don't want a funny song.
Well, why not? It's better than anything else he'd feared happening tonight.
All right. I've got maybe one that's both. Let me see.
He doesn't actually have that, but they're both drunk now, so they'll hear what they want.
The cuckoo is a fine bird. He sings as he flies. He brings us good tidings and tells us no lies. He sucks the sweet flowers to make his voice clear. And the more he cries cuckoo, the summer is nigh.
Yeah, suck those flowers.
It sounds like a very good word.
I'm sure he is. Come all you fair maidens, take warning of me. Don't place your affections on a sycamore tree, for the top it will wither, and the roots they will die. And if I'm forsaken, I know not for why.
Fuck that guy.
Roots.
Maybe this was a bad idea. I'll stop.
No! More, Arthur.
Hastur sits up.
You should write me a funny song. You could make it dirty too. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, that's good to know.
Arthur feels lightheaded.
When roots die, so does the tree.
That's true.
I'll give you roots.
It's all going to work out.
Arthur wonders, if he keeps John to himself, will Hastur eventually die? They are an opportunistic family. If Hastur dies, his kingdom will fall to another, and that will absolutely fuck over Faroe. She's his heir. They'd never stop chasing her. Little Faroe, who is so strong and so smart. Faroe, who is learning and experiencing things Arthur could never give her in 1,000 lifetimes. Faroe, who is, right now, incredibly safe. He could never give her a life like this. He already threw away any right he had to try. His stomach churns.
Hey,
John must be watching the mirrors.
you're not supposed to cry. You're supposed to be funny.
Well, John,
And dirty.
I think I've had enough dirty for tonight. Gentlemen, I'm tired. Please let me go. I need to sleep.
Humans do need sleep.
Hastur slowly rises.
Horrible activity. Don't know how you stand it.
Well, we do. It'll kill us if we don't get enough.
Hastur puts him back on the bed, but neither moves away nor lets go.
I really do hate you, you know?
I know.
Fuck.
Hastur lowers back down and covers Arthur's bottom half in hot, heavy weight. The bed creaks, shudders, and the frame finally breaks. The mattress hits the floor. Hastur does not move.
Aw, look at us. All together, the way it should be.
And John does not seem to register Arthur's gasp or Arthur's hard swallow. John's left hand comes up, strokes Arthur's hair, then settles on his chest over his heart. Gods don't sleep, but they both seem to be in some kind of daze. Good, Arthur thinks, because he can't talk right now. Good, Arthur thinks, because his heart under John's hand hurts, because his stomach under Hastur's weight twists, because his throat, in no grip but his mind's own, tightens. He knows what needs to happen for John's sake, in time. He's known since the beginning. He has. He knew he was being selfish when Cain gave him that choice in Addison years ago. He knows he's self-centered. He knows. He knows he needs to give John up, for John's sake, for John. He doesn't know if he can.
sing for me, Arthur?
Always, my friend.
It's a vow, because John is in pain, and Arthur knows he's in pain, and he knows Hastur is right. Arthur is at fault.
They told me last night there were ships in the offing. I hurried down to the deep rolling sea, but my eye could not see it, wherever might be it, the bark that is bringing my lover to me. Blow the wind southerly, 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 blow the wind south, where's the bonny blue sea? Blow the wind southerly, 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 blow bonny breeze, my love, and bring her to me.
Arthur's voice trails off, and the two gods breathe, one in his head, the other draped across his stomach, and no one speaks any more at all.
If you enjoyed this production of Surrogate, the Director's Cut, please read the original written work on AO3, where it is still actively updating as of September 2024. A link is in the work notes, where you can also find the social medias of all the production cast. Malevolent was written and produced by Harlan Guthrie, and all characters depicted here belong to their respective creators. The cast and management produced this show for no monetary gain, and all rights remain with the authors. Any sound effects or music used in this production were obtained legally or are created by the production cast. Please let us know your thoughts, and as Kane would say,
stay tuned for the next episode!